Hello and welcome to LELB Society, an online learning community that can help you to learn English academically. Visit us at lelb.net to have access to a lot of services. Listen to this sample of an IELTS interview between me as an interviewer and one of my private students as an interviewee. Alright. Hold on. Okay, in this, in the first part of your IELTS interview, I'm going to ask you some personal question, a couple of minutes, and the questions are rather personal, but let's say the most important thing is to just evaluate your performance. Alright, I'm Hariri, as you know, and I'm here to evaluate your performance in the first part of the IELTS exam. So I want you to introduce yourself and give some personal information if possible.
Okay. My name is Reza Musavi. During the rest of conversation, you can call me Reza. I'm 32-year-old. I was born in a small city located in western part of my country, district from Lorestan province. When I was 2, my family decided to relocate to Tehran to have better opportunities. So we immigrated to Tehran, and I was completely grew up in Tehran.
All right, so great. How old were you when you just moved to Tehran?
As I mentioned, when I was 2, my father decided to immigrate to a bigger city.
So you were an infant, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was very young child.
And so do you have any fresh memories of west of Iran, as you said, actually your hometown, or you do not remember it exactly?
When I was younger, we went to the city where I was born, usually. But as I got older, my family decided not to get there, because my uncles, who was living at the city when I was a child, relocated to Tehran as well. It's very common to immigrate from other cities to Tehran. So we have very small family in Tehran. So we decided not to get there. But still, whenever I find suitable time, I'll get there and visit my grandfather who lives there, and some other families such as one of my aunts and my uncles.
Okay, great. So you have candidated for the IELTS exam. What do you need it for?
As a candidate for IELTS exam, I mainly want to acquire knowledge about English to be very successful immigrant. Another reason for me to learn English language, by participating in IELTS exam, is to be able to talk with other nationalities. I mean, English speaking people or other sort of people who I visit during the day. At the moment, I live in Copenhagen, so it's very essential to be able to speak in their language. But as I'm new in Copenhagen, I prefer to speak in English language here because I want to, communicate with other peoples and satisfy my requirements. So I think it's essential to be able to speak English quite well here.
Well, apart from actually establishing pivotal skills successfully, as you said, is there any other reason, particularly in reference to your career or profession? What do you do specifically?
I'm a software engineer, and in my field of profession, it's a must that you be able to, acquire knowledge using other sources such as internet. And
Sure.
in my field of study, almost all of topics and articles and new technologies delivered in English language. So I think to be a thriving software engineer, you have to accomplish English levels.
Absolutely, yes. And so, as a software engineer, do you work in an office, or you are a teleworker, or actually work as a self-employed person? Or
I started my job roughly 5 years ago, and I have changed my companies 3 times, and it's my third company that I'm working with. All of my jobs was about to working in office environments and working in office, and that's it.
okay, so working in an office, how is your relationship, or let's say rapport with your colleagues?
When I was living in Iran, I had very working relationship with my colleagues. I think because they were speaking Persian, but after I relocated here, I find it very difficult to talk with other nationalities and other people because they speak in another language. They come from another culture. Apart from this, you cannot feel sympathetically with people from other, cultures, other origins, and you feel better with people coming from your originality. And I think it's hard to deal with such people.
You mean there are some cultural problems or differences that cause some problems here?
Exactly. What you said is correct.
Oh, well, that's rather interesting. Could you please just give me one example about the cultural differences that causes some problem in Iran and actually in Denmark as you're living?
One major point that I can talk about is the way that they are going to talk with you in sarcasm style. They want to,
Sarcastically.
they want to speak to you sarcastically, and sometimes you might find it very rude, find the person very rude in the way that they want to talk to you. But in other situations, for example, last month we went on a trip with our colleagues, which is very common here in their country, in Copenhagen, in Denmark, and they gathered around the table, and they started to drink a cup of wine, and drink a toast, and to have a barbecue, and start to talking with about their childhood and about their lives, and it's very strange to what we have in our country, and their memories are totally different, and they're funny. Their phones are absolutely different than what we have in our country. So you cannot find something in common to start a conversation or to talk with such people.
Yeah, in English we say, when in Rome, do as Romans do, in order to blend in with the situation and atmosphere very well. You need to just obey their social norms and rules.
Yeah,
this is a fact. Okay. Well, thank you. It was great. I was impressed by your performance, to be honest. There were some casual problems. For example, say speak in a language. You should say speak a language, and west of Iran, not western part. Usually, it's better to say west. I was born in west of Iran. And the other point that because actually it was synchronous communication, I decided not to type because it would just be rather distractive to you. And
Okay.
the other point is you said something about province or province, but the correct pronunciation is province. You said something else. I don't remember.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. It was my mistake. Yeah,
oh yeah, well, the rest
province.
actually was okay. I was really impressed, as I said, by your performance, and thank you very much. And it was a very smooth conversation, and I didn't notice that you were actually a candidate. And it's clear that the atmosphere you are in right now can help you to just improve your English very fluently,
Yeah.
as you are, and I'm really happy for you. Okay, so let's start the second part of the let me see, hold on. So far so good. Yeah, during this part of the interview, you are given 1 minute to just brainstorm the topic and you must have a piece of paper and a pen to write down whatever that comes into your mind, and to get organized. It is highly recommended. And I will give you a cue card. I'll copy and paste the information on Skype, and you will have 1 minute. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
And after that, actually, you have 2 minutes to respond to the question. And during that time, I just mute my microphone and I just type whatever that comes into my mind about your performance. And after the delivery, or let's say speech, I will let you know about your possible mistakes or problems. Okay, so you may answer the question in 2 minutes.
Okay.
And I mute my microphone. Yes.
Okay. The problem that I'm going to talk about is the hurdle, which is related to bus and train stops here. I live in Copenhagen City, and Copenhagen City is very famous for its facilities for public transport system. But at the moment that I live in the city, there are some major problems with bus stops and bus lines and train routes. The main problem is that trains are not very punctual. I mean that people lose a lot of time when they want to commute to work and start their daily routine every day. And every people living here is very dissatisfied with their public transport system. I think the main reason which causes the problem is the way that the connection between bus lines and train system is established. All of bus lines and train lines should cross the central part of the city, which put such a strain on public transport system that they cannot handle timetable very easily. In fact, they should be very flexible in their design until that they should be able to change and bring alternative ways for other trains that people can use other ways, or even for themselves that they can use other lines for crossing and passing passengers. Apart from everything that I have mentioned, I enjoy the transport system and public transport systems they have here. The problem on the shows and denotes itself in rush hours, and then people want to go to work or return back to home. But during the day or during the night, you can um, you can use public transport system without any problems, and that's the reason why many people here use public transport system instead of their own cars.
Okay, now let's focus on the third part or the last part of the interview. That is actually the second part, but in more detail. Let me see. Hold on. Okay, so I want you to explain about actually the major problem in the face of your country and the country where you live right now. And in reference to the second part, let me see. Problem that affects the environment. The first part, actually, the second part of the interview was about environmental problems. Do you consider some other problems that seem to be, or actually that are regarded to carry more weight in your idea, apart from environmental, in Denmark?
I didn't understand your question exactly, because I spoke about public transport, and you are changing the topic to environment. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, the third part of the interview is more general. You provide some details about actually some particular general topics, and also you can personalize the question according to your experience. So this in the second part of the interview, you talked about environmental problems of that exist in your country. I wonder if there is any other problem, not environmentally oriented, maybe actually culturally oriented, maybe financially oriented, some other problem that may that are regarded actually as more serious or more, let's say, grave in your idea.
About the country where I come from, or the country where
Denmark,
I live at?
Right, the country where you live right now.
Environmental problem here. I think, as much as I'm concerned, Denmark is a green country. Not only the government, but also people, spend a lot of energy and put a lot of energy on saving the environment and the nature. People use bicycle to go to work or to start their jobs, or to go to schools, in order that they would not take part in the polluting of the environment. But in comparison with my country, specifically Tehran, the city where I come from, people every day drive to work by their own cars. And the car systems that we have in Iran at the moment goes back to 20 or 30 years ago. Their engines are obsolete, and they consume a lot of oil in order that they can carry people. But in Denmark, a modern car consumes 3 liters per 100 kilometers, and it's very common here, as opposed to cars that we have in Iran, which normally weighs 10 liters per 100 kilometers, and it's only a very subtle difference between car systems that we have in Denmark and in my country, which has great impact on having nice and fresh air and weather condition.
Okay. As a matter of fact, I asked you to focus on the most important problem in your country, but you did not. You did not actually give a good answer to my question. You just made a comparison between your hometown and also the country where you live right now, and you just
But there is no
clarify the
environmental
privilege.
issue, yeah.
No,
But there
I
is no.
didn't. I said the most important problem apart from environmental issues.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
that
thought
that
you
was the
wanted to speak.
question. I said actually the second part of the IELTS interview was all about environmental problems, as you mentioned them pretty well. But in this part of the interview, I asked you to be actually general about it, just the basic and the most, let's say, the major problem that is really marked in your eyes. And anyway, you just made a comparison. And also you said comparison, but it is sin,
Yes, sir.
and
Nails.
you said
Nails.
car system. Usually we say transportation system. Car system exists, but it's not that common. And you said cars use oil, but you should say gas or petrol. And you said as opposed to, if I'm not mistaken. Did you
Yeah,
say
as
that?
opposed to. Yeah, as opposed to.
As opposed, but you should say as opposed to, or in opposition to.
I said as opposed to, I think, but I.
Opposed,
Yeah,
with
opposed.
D.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
okay, so I didn't hear you well. Anyway, so you should say either as opposed to, as you did, or as in opposition to. Okay, and you said has great impact. It's better to let's say pluralize it. Has a great impact, or it's better, or actually has impact. Even you get, since it is actually countable impact, you can say has a great impact on something or upon something in order to be more formal. Whenever you can use on, you can just substitute it for upon in order to stay more formal.
Yeah.
Okay, it was good. So this was the one of the questions of this part of the interview, and so I want you, because actually I want to ask you further questions about the first question. So if you're asked to choose one of the let's say the most important problem, the major problem in your country, how would you respond to that question?
Let me think. I think environmental issue.
Still environmental?
I'm not environmental. I can see problem. Yeah.
It's an utopian country.
I can see environmental, non-environmental.
Non-environmental. I want you to be more specific about it. Just
Yeah, and I want to find it until so that I can speak about it. The problem. Yeah, exactly. I think one of the strangest problems that I suffered here was the working hour. In the country where I live at the moment, most shopping stores work until 6 p.m. and it's quite strange in comparison with the country where I come from. In
they just
Iran,
open at that
in Iran, stores open their stores and serve their customers until 12, until midnight. Yeah. But in this country, all the stores close their services at 6 and at most at 7 p.m. And it's quite strange to me and people who want to.
Why is it in this case? Why do we have that situation? Is there any reason for that?
Sorry, I beg your pardon.
I mean,
It's better.
what is the main reason for that? That they just close their shops or stores so soon at 6 p.m.
I think it's related to their culture and their rules and their laws related to people. Denmark has a very generous system. In their system, they want to establish a balance between your personal life and your business life, and you have to finish your work at an hour that you can spend more time with your family, and they should not their working hours per week should not exceed a maximum amount. So
does it have anything in particular about the daylight? Is
no.
is it dark at 6 p.m. or because it is close to North Pole?
No, daylight is totally different from my country. In the spring, when I started living here, the sunset is about 11 p.m. and the sunrise is about 3 a.m. So you have very long days. But in winter, you have shorter days. The sunset is about 4 p.m. In the worst case, and the sunrise is about 8:30. But even in the spring, when the sunrise is so late and the sunset is so late, the situation is the same. And I think it's something related to their tax system, their welfare system, and their culture. You see no one in the street when it's, for example, 8 or 9 p.m. But in my country, in 9 p.m. they start to flood into the street.
Right.
And
That's right.
they start their shopping habits and everything.
Most of the time they just go window shopping. Shopping. Yeah.
Or eating.
Yeah. Anyway, so have you been able to just handle the problem or get along with the problem, because it may cause some personal problems, depression, because we Iranians love to just go out, as I said, window shopping or shopping and chatting with friends, but actually when everything is closed at 6 p.m., has it caused any problem or in your life or not? You have been able to just handle it?
Yeah, in first view, you might consider this strange behavior as a root of many problems, such as depression and, what you have said about cultural differences. But as far as I'm concerned, in these, situation, you can enjoy your life by spending more time with your family. You can read a book, for example, when you finish your work and come back to home. Or even you can start watching television, watching useful television programs, and you can enjoy your living at your home, not into the street. But for me, the problem was to supply my necessities when I ask for something which was not exist at my home. So I try to change my habit and to prepare everything before I get to home, and have everything at my home, and to be more organized in my life and in the way that I live. So I think by changing your habits and your your routines, you can have a better life here.
As far as I know, Denmark is one of the happiest countries in the world, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, why do you think that this country is categorized according to one of the happiest ones in the world?
Being happy has no relation with money. I think the main reason why people here are called happiest in the world is the way that they consider their environment, their homes, their friends. Whenever you meet another person who is Danish, he or she tries to smile at you, and they welcome you whenever you ask something about them. The other reason why these people are happiest in the world is that they try to enjoy whatever they have. For example, when a person, I don't know what they are called, people who try to have performance into the streets. I don't know the exact English phrase for that.
Jugglers.
Jugglers, yeah. I don't know. But I'm looking for a specific word. But
what kind of performance? What kind of performance?
For example, the person who plays a guitar, or who the person who is a violinist, who perform into the streets and gathers money and
street musicians, money. You may call them.
Yeah. Whenever they see street musician, they might spend an hour just to listen to the musician, enjoy their lives. Enjoying the life is not only to have money. I mean prosperity. It has no relation with prosperity. You can enjoy, for example, with a cup of
Thank you for your listening. I'm Dr. Hariri, and I can help you to improve your English academically in preparation for the IELTS and TOEFL exam. Here you can see my contact information, including my telephone number, Skype ID, and also website address at lelb.net, and in the footer area of the website you can have all the other necessary contact information in order to stay in touch with me. Thank you and have a great time.